is the DOM and how does it relate to HTML? In this episode, we will explore two of the most common and confusing web development terms. Let's begin! When you use a browser to request a web page, the server returns HTML like this. The HTML is a document with instructions on how the page should roughly look like. The browser needs to process and parse the HTML to create a tree of objects like this. Each object of the tree is a node. This entire tree representing the page's content is the DOM, or we call it the document object model. Right now, the DOM looks the same as the HTML, but suppose that the script reference at the bottom runs this code. It removes the heading nodes and adds another paragraph node to the DOM. The complete DOM now looks like this. The page's HTML is now different from its DOM. In other words, HTML represents initial page content and the DOM represents current page content. When JavaScript adds, removes, or edits nodes, the DOM becomes different from the HTML. In fact, when building a page with a JavaScript framework, you can use a very short HTML document and add all the nodes from JavaScript. That works. The browser will parse it the same way to form the DOM. With that, let's inspect the page with DevTools. There are more than 5 ways to open DevTools. You can watch my previous video to learn more. Right-click on the page and select Inspect. This is the Elements panel. On the left is the DOM tree. This is where you can inspect, edit, and do all DOM-related activities. When you are interested in a particular DOM node, Inspect is a fast way to investigate that node. With that, the node is highlighted in the DOM tree. Furthermore, as you navigate the nodes, DevTools highlights the node in your page too. There are 3 more handy commands to help you locate your node quicker. You can use Ctrl or Command F to search through the DOM. If you find the DOM node is not currently in the viewport, instead of scrolling all the way to the bottom, you can click on the 3 dots and select Scroll into View. In addition, do you see the $hint in the DOM tree? You can press Escape to bring up the console and type $0 to view the current node. You can also modify the text content on the fly using this command. To view the node in object format, you can use the dir command. If you want to view your previous node in the navigation history, type $1 will get you that. Similarly, you can right-click and scroll to view from here. This $command is part of the Console Utilities API. Go to this video to learn more useful commands like this. Since we touched on editing the DOM, there are multiple easier ways to edit it as well. This allows you to quickly experiment changes in the UI. To edit the text content of a node, double-click on the text and start editing. Press Enter to apply the changes. Similarly, if you want to change the type of this node, double-click it, enter the new type and press Enter. To add a new attribute like applying styles to the element, you can right-click, select Add Attribute. Type in your attribute name and value. Look at that, the color changed to deep pink. By the way, you can use Tab to navigate through the attributes. For example, double-click on the node and press Tab. It will jump to the first attribute and you can edit the value on the fly. If you want to add a hyperlink, adding an anchor node like this doesn't work because DevTools passes that as text. Right-click on the node and select Edit as HTML. Paste in your anchor and press Enter. Easy peasy. Now, here is a lesser-known feature. You can drag and drop the DOM node to move them around. Once you are done with your changes, you can right-click and take a node screenshot. Then, send it to your designer. Take note though, DevTools won't save the changes you make in the DOM. All changes are gone after you reload the page, even if you have set up a workspace. That makes sense, because it's the DOM. DevTools doesn't know where and how to save the changes. Should it be the HTML or JavaScript? With Workspace, you should edit the actual file in the Sources panel to save changes to your source code. Alright, that's all for now. To learn more about manipulating the DOM with DevTools, visit this link. Happy coding and stay tuned for the next DevTools tips. Ciao!